Okay, welcome everyone. I believe that we are live. Yes, we are live. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do in this one is talk about the 15-minute rule. So essentially, it is a technique I use for problem solving, and essentially, yeah, like it says in the heading, stop wasting time and start building things. Now, let's go straight to the first slide. Okay, so the problem. You are stuck on some difficult, complex problem, something, who knows what you're stuck on, right? And this is sometimes how the trajectory goes if we're sort of deep in the weeds and we're sort of really need to solve this problem. 1 hour goes by and you're still trying. 2 hours, you're getting frustrated. 3 hours because you're frustrated, you're still stuck, and essentially time just keeps going by, and it's just wasted. You can't get the time back, right? And so, essentially, you're just gonna have to let it go. You're really just gonna have to let it go. I struggled with this problem a lot in university, where I would find a math problem essentially and I would just hammer at it for hours and hours and hours, where I could have just asked someone and it could have been solved so quickly, and I could have solved so many other problems. We've got so much stuff done, but instead I just wanted to hammer and get that problem solved so bad. And I knew I could have solved the problem, just someone else could have solved it, or I could have looked at the answers or something, but I wasted so much time. It was so infuriating. It was absolutely terrible. So the solution is the 15-minute rule. So this is the solution. Give yourself exactly 15 minutes of focused effort, then ask for help. So not tomorrow, don't ask for help tomorrow, not after you try once more, right now. So set a timer as soon as you encounter a problem, and then ask for help right then and there. Okay, so what 15 minutes gives you? So you realize you're stuck on a problem, and what essentially 15 minutes will give you is that it'll give you time to read the error, and you'll be able to analyze what actually went wrong. And so you can do things like check your syntax, you can check logic errors, or you can review your code, or like all those good things. Or even, right, you don't find anything, or maybe you're unsure about certain things, you can go online and you can search up relevant documentation. You can use Stack Overflow or AI or something like that. Just give yourself a little bit of time to churn over the problem, and you can try several different approaches as well. Maybe you have tried your approach, you can try 2 or 3 or something like, or who knows, several different approaches, right? So that's what 15 minutes will give you. And why does this matter? Why does the 15 rule, why is it even more relevant, and why is it, I would say, even more applicable in the landscape today? So something that might have taken you possibly, 3 hours before, it's like solving complex problems, right? You can just all automate that with AI. Plus, also, AI is being trained on known problems, right? And then it can sort of work out similar problems or problems in the adjacent space to whatever we have solved collectively as humanity. Now, honestly, there's not going to be a problem you encounter that is just completely unknown to humanity. That's the really hardcore stuff. You're the upper echelons of university research institutions. Very unlikely if you're in the learning stage, or even if you're in a company, right? You're not solving academically tricky problems. Sometimes there's a lot and it's annoying, and you just need to get the problem solved, right? So often the bottleneck is not that the problem actually can't be solved because you don't have the resources to solve it. You have AI, I'm sure you have mentors and whatnot, Stack Overflow, all that. Most of the time, the bottleneck is your own ego. I want to solve the problem myself, right? I want to be smart, and I want to solve the problem myself. So that is the bottleneck. Okay, so check your ego. You need to say to yourself, hey, I don't know how to solve this problem. I don't know how to solve it. And that's okay. That's really fine. So the weakness, things you say to yourself that are not good, right? So I must figure this out alone. Asking for help means I'm not good enough. Absolutely rubbish. So switch to the wisdom. See the wisdom column here. The wisdom. I have time and goals, right? So I just need to solve it. You start using resources efficiently. Okay, so we're going to talk about the learning paradox. This is actually a very interesting concept. And okay, let's just get into it. I'm actually really excited about this. Okay, so the learning paradox, right? So asking for help makes you feel better. Struggling for 3 hours, right? So when you struggle for 3 hours, you remember the frustration and the struggle more than the lesson sometimes, right? So it's just what happens is it's just mental exhaustion, and sometimes you still fully don't understand why it works. So you sometimes do get to the solution and you understand, but sometimes there are times when you sort of get to a half-ass answer that'll be like, oh yeah, that kind of works, sort of, yeah, I'll just accept it. And you just have all the trauma and the struggle trapped in your brain, and it's sad. So, okay, so after 15 minutes, clear explanations, while the context is still fresh, right? So you sort of have the problem in your mind and it's just fresh. You're untraumatized by all the struggle you went through, and so you'll sort of understand the most immediate obvious solution, and you don't have to go through all this stuff here. And and you'll actually just remember the solution next time. You'll be happy about it as well. You'll be happy about it as well because you wouldn't have gone through the 3 hours of just struggling and clawing at stuff. Okay, so the compound effect. Every hour you're stuck is an hour not building new features, learning new concepts, working on your project, making progress towards your goals, right? So yeah, essentially, imagine you get a problem solved in 15 minutes, or you could get it solved in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Sometimes, my gosh, it is a struggle. It is a struggle. And in those 6 hours, imagine all the amazing things you gave up just so you could have that problem solved. And obviously, here we say over months and years, this it really builds up. It really builds up, right? It's devastating how much this kind of thing builds up. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So how to apply this? What you do? Okay, so you say you're coding along, you're doing your thing, and you're coding and all that good stuff, and then you get stuck on a problem. So you're stuck. Oh, okay. Immediately, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the clock. I'm going to get a timer or something like that. I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes. And now, what you're going to do is formulate the question clearly. What am I actually trying to solve? What am I actually trying to solve? What am I trying to do here? What have I tried before? And then now, if whatever you've tried it and you get some error message on your screen from coding, right? You need to read the error and what is the specific error I need to solve to get this whole thing solved, right? Now, step 3, choose your resource. So choose the resource. So choose whatever thing you're going to use to solve the problem. So here I've listed a few. AI for known problems, or even problems that are known to humanity and are in the adjacent space to that, right? Most problems, that's probably what you should do first, right? Now, if it's really, really complex and there's layers to it, it's quite meaty, right? Go for an experienced developer, or if you have access to teachers, mentors, right? Just do it. Just get the ego out of the way. Just ask for help. And also, you could, if you're part of communities online and stuff like that, you could ask this question, post this in the community, be like, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Does anyone have any trouble with this as well? Can anyone help me out? What have you tried? All that good stuff. So that's what you can do. Now, how to apply this? So you ask your question, be specific. Include code errors, so when you're asking the community and stuff like that, or this is AI as well, so make sure you include the errors you get, include the code you've tried before and why you think it's not working, and obviously include the question. and then learn from the solution. This is the step that brings everything together. Because imagine you put it in AI and it spits out a solution, then you copy and paste it, and then you solve the problem. You don't understand why you're not learning, right? You're going to be in the same situation over again. You're not going to be smarter. So to get smarter, to improve, what you need to do is you need to take the solution from AI. Don't just copy and paste it. Understand why it works. And then just ask AI, hey, why did you suggest this solution? Why is this a good solution? And sometimes AI is wrong. Can you be like, oh, what if we try this? And then sometimes AI is like, oh yeah, you're actually right. Or AI will respond with, oh, actually, no, this is a better solution because of this and this and this. So you need to understand why AI has given you a specific solution. That is very important. That's the thing that is actually going to make you smarter. And next time you'll be able to solve the problem on your own. Okay, so building real confidence. So solving problems efficiently builds confidence, right? And it's better. It's a much better than just stubborn independence. The fact that you can solve the problem, yes, I feel good, I'm confident I can solve that problem, as opposed to just I'm stubborn and I've spent 6 hours solving this problem, and did I get it solved? But I was stubborn and I spent 6 hours doing it, but do I have results? Maybe I have results, right? Confidence comes when you actually get the result and you've actually solved it. So no matter what, just find a way to solve the problem. We care about results. Okay, so this will allow you. So if you keep getting results, you get consistent progress, right? You'll complete your projects and you won't fall behind, and maybe you can even complete more projects than what you could originally do before by applying the 15-minute rule. And obviously visible improvement, it's just an upward spiral to heaven, right? Essentially, more improvement gives you confidence, and then you feel more confident to solve more problems, get more results, and then you see you're improving more and more confidence. It's just a beautiful cycle. It's honestly, it's such a beautiful cycle. Okay, so resources are not cheating. This is the real world. So when you were back in school, you couldn't cheat. You couldn't look at the answers at the back of the book until you done. Obviously, I don't know. I haven't been in university in quite a while, almost 10 years. I don't know how they're using AI there. But how the real world works, if you go into industry and things like that, you just got to get that problem solved. No matter how you solve the problem, we don't care. It's just the results. We only care about the results of things, right? And so the best developers are asking for help, constantly improving, and they're not less capable. They're more pragmatic. That's how they view it, right? They're just, I need a practical way of solving this, and whatever I can do to solve it, I'm gonna do it to solve it. And sometimes there's value in sort of looking back at first principles if you're truly trying to invent something new. If you're doing an Elon, taking people to Mars, inventing new ways of electric vehicles and stuff like that, maybe you need first principles, physics and all that. Most of the time you're going to be encountering problems people have solved before, and or it may not be a problem that humanity has solved before, but perhaps you can break it up. This is important. Let's let this land. Just write it down if you need to, but just let this land, right? Maybe the unknown problem can be broken up into problems, sub-problems that humanity has solved before, and you just solve each of those problems individualistically, and then at the end, you glue everything together, right? So, okay, so, yes. So the bottom line, let's get to it. We're coming to the end of this presentation. Thank you so much for sticking around. Yeah, it means a lot to me. Anyway, so programming is a tool for building things. It is not an endurance test. I mean, you can use it as an endurance test, coding competitions, stuff like that. But we're talking about building stuff, getting results, building apps, doing all that stuff. So that's the mission. That's the mission here. And you need to be building things, right? And so you need to be quick. You need to be speedy. You can't be stuck. You can't be stuck on things. And every minute you are stuck, you're not creating. Sometimes you need to be stuck. And that's what the 15-minute rule is there for. It gives you the little churning time, right? That's only for how long you're allowed to be stuck for. 15 minutes. So that's enough time for you to think about something deeply, and maybe you might actually come up with the solution in 15 minutes. But it's not enough time for you to waste your day. Okay. So remember, set a timer, give yourself 15 minutes, and ask for help. AI with people or communities and stuff like that. So your future self, the one who actually ship projects, will thank you. Okay, cool. And here's some action steps. So take a screenshot. Take a nice screenshot. So starting today, get your timer. So when you're stuck, right? Set the timer. Ask for help without guilt. No shame. No guilt. Just like no ego, nothing, right? And then once you have the solution, learn from the solutions, learn from them, understand why the solution is the solution, right? And then here's a little nice thing. So to actually see how this is affecting your progress, track your wins. Now I have this is another Coder Trader framework about tracking your wins and stuff like that. So look out for that. Yeah, but the place you can find all our Coder Trader frameworks, let me tell you about it. So I have this is part of my school community. So essentially, this is my school community, and we create dangerous coders, right? That's what we do. Now, this is actually going to be part of my Expert Coder Starter class. Now, here in the classroom, we have all kinds of courses, right? I think phone addiction is a huge problem. I made a course about this. This is going to be part of this course. We have the Code Starter Bootcamp live lessons, and then sort of more premium offerings down here, right? The mindset course, just getting everything right in the head when you need to switch on, need to do things and be just in the zone, hacking at things all the time and making sure you have unlimited energy to code for days and days and days, right? And obviously the Expert Coder class, which is a continuation from this, but it'll actually really teach you how to be world class, the dangerous coder. When you walk into a building of other coders, you're the one they fear. It's like, oh, not that guy. I don't want to be competing with that guy, right? So this is my community. Please do join up, and I will call it there. So I hope you got a value from this presentation, and I will see you in the next one.